Hello, everyone. I am Christine Yap, your moderator for today's session on future-proofing the youth entrepreneurship ecosystem. This session is actually brought to you by the Singapore Young Entrepreneurs Award, also known as SYEA Committees team. And today, we are very honored to have three speakers with us. Firstly, we have Mr. Sean Wong, PBM, CEO of Celebrity Group, and also founder of Celebrity Group. We also have co-founder of Celebrity Group, Datin Sri Adeline Fong. We also have Melissa Tan, PBM, Director of Alba Wah and Hua. So without further ado, let's commence the session today. Before we go on further, this session is actually to talk about SYEA as a youth entrepreneurship empowerment initiative, which is founded by a team of youth passionate in making an impact in both the business world and also the community. We aim to honor and also empower local youth entrepreneurs who have implemented both commercially viable business initiatives and also sustainable impact to the society. Without further ado, let's watch the following video to find out more about SYEA. For all of the audience here today, after watching the video, I believe you would have already found out that SYEA is going big on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So the Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by all United Nations member states, including Singapore in 2015, as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and also to ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. These SDGs also promote sustained economic growth, higher levels of productivity and technological innovation, empowering entrepreneurship, and also job creation are basically key to all three of these goals. With these targets in mind, the goal is to achieve full productive employment and decent work for all women and men in 2030. So the key highlight of SYEA business programs is to create a sustained platform for youth entrepreneurs to network and also to learn from industry professionals. That also includes three of our esteemed guests today. We are very honored to have three very successful entrepreneurs from three very different industries itself, and leaders coming from various backgrounds to share their thoughts. Well, to all participants, this is also your chance to ask questions and learn from there later. To all aspiring entrepreneurs looking at making an impact to the community, is it really possible to have your business model support a meaningful cause while achieving outstanding business results? So later on, we will actually find out how do 3 of our successful business leaders over here balance their business model to support both a meaningful cause while achieving outstanding business results in their business. So today, I would actually like to invite 3 of our esteemed guests over here to share how you have basically balanced between both balancing your business results and also creating a social impact. Well, before we go there, I would like to invite 3 of our guests to actually introduce themselves and their company's background. So without further ado, we would start first with Mr. Sean Wong, who is also CEO and founder of Celebrity Group. Mr. Sean Wong.
Thank you very much, Christine. Myself, I'm Sean. I run a social enterprise, and we focus on developing people, supporting and empowering people who are disabled, as well as individuals who have gone through traumatic experiences in their lives. And so what we do is we provide platforms for them to be able to develop themselves, and as well as to become public speakers and social entrepreneurs. And I wear many hats. I'm also the chairman of an arts charity, Musical Theatre Limited. And our mission is to provide platforms to be able to let people who have talents to develop original musical works. And these talents include people in the disabled community as well, and also people who lack opportunities. So I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm also the agent of boxing world champion Senator Manny Pacquiao.
Wow.
Yeah, so I organize concerts, I organize very large-scale events to be able to work together with people who need help, as well as people who have talents. So that's a gist of what I do. So I run a number of organizations, including nonprofit organizations, and I spend more than half of my time doing community work. Yeah, so that's
amazing.
That's my background. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sean Wong, PBM, for your contributions to the society. From his brief introduction, we can also see that Mr. Sean Wong, PBM, is also a strong advocate of decent work and economic growth. That actually illustrates closely to one of our award categories for SYEA, which is on jobs creation and economic growth. So next, we would like to move on to also get an introduction from our very own Datin Sri Adeline Fong, who is also co-founder of Celebrity Group, to share about her background and experience.
Hello, everyone. I'm Adeline. I'm actually the co-founder for Celebrity Group. We are also doing like what Sean mentioned. Sean is actually my husband. So we are doing a social enterprise whereby we empower people. Yeah. So how I started doing all this is when I actually, back in 2015, I'm a mother. So back in 2015, I lost my second son, Ayers, when he was born, just a few minutes after he was born. So this traumatic experience made a turning point in my life. Yeah. So basically, I asked myself what has happened, and as a mother, only a mother would be able to feel the impact of this. So because of Ayers, I wanted to convert my grief into a purpose in life. So this is when I started to tell myself, maybe I should share my experience. And when I did that, after I pulled myself up, after a couple of months, I decided to share how I actually came up again, strong, after going through this. So what happened was, let me see, sorry. Okay, so when I openly shared this testimony of mine in social medias, I come to realize that there are actually many mothers out there facing similar issues. They couldn't stand up, and they couldn't handle the whole situation as well. So they actually private messaged me, and I shared with them on how to actually pick themselves up. So I thought I really want to do something for this young women and these young mummies out there. So here I am doing what I'm doing, so that I can, be a change to actually become. We want to empower more women to become the agent of change in the communities. Yeah. So yep, that's about me.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your inspired sharing. So next, we would also like to invite Ms. Melissa Tan, PBM, also director of Alba Wa & Wa, to also share about her background and her experience.
Hello, hi everyone. Hi Christine and my fellow speakers Adeline and Sean. Melissa here, married with 3 kids. Unfortunately, my husband is not here with me today. Well, I am not as entrepreneur as them, where they founded their own business. I don't. I actually carry on my family business in waste management. So I started joining the company when I was the age of 21. And of course, the days and the time passed by. And during, that period of time, I've learned a lot, right? And so that's where I am today. I'm also the chairperson for waste management and recycling of Singapore, right? I'm the chairperson of that. Recently, I'm also being appointed as the national representative for Asia Pacific under International Solid Waste Association. So basically, Singapore is now the representative for all Asia Pac National Association. So I specialize in waste management. Likewise, I also do pretty much, I spend pretty much of my time doing community work and social work. I also founded a social enterprise, I would say more on a ladies' society called Ladies First. It's really about empowering women for women. But our target audience are underprivileged women and children. So the team that is being formed, my committee members are all the working women, working professionals, where they want to give back to the society, and that's where we decided to form, gather together, and then do more meaningful projects. Yeah.
Thank you, Melissa Tan, PBM, for your sharing. So actually, just from a very short, brief introduction of each of our speakers today, we actually realized that each and every one of them actually wear a lot of different hats, right? Like for instance, Ms. Melissa, PBM, you are actually holding a lot of hats, a few hats, and that includes women empowerment, waste management. She also chairs WARMRIS, who is a strong advocate of environment protection. We also have Datin Sri Adeline Fong. She runs a business together with her husband, Mr. Sean Wong, PBM. They are very big on a social enterprise that actually empowers jobs creation and encouraging the disabled to be able to step up and also be able to create an impact within their own community. Well, at the same time, they are also very big on creating an impact for women, not just in the business world, but also among the professionals through Miss Singapore and Miss Malaysia, both are Miss World entitlements. So there's a lot of local and international engagements over here. So we do see a lot of common topics and common interests among 3 of our very successful business leaders over here today. So I would like to urge all of the young entrepreneurs and all of the audience, be it over here today at the recording site and also behind our Zoom platform where you're listening from the Zoom platform itself, I would like to urge you to actually take this opportunity to learn from each of our business leaders over here today. So, we do have one session where we would actually like to find out a little bit more, more so from the personal side, on why and who actually inspired you to be in the industry or even start the initiative and business that you are in today. So perhaps we can start first with Mr. Sean Wong. Thank you.
Okay, how I got started. Just many, many years ago, more than a decade ago, I actually ran shops. I used to have 5 retail shops. And I went through a very tough time. I basically lost everything during SARS. I was in debt of $500,000. So that was a time where my whole world just collapsed and I lost everything that I built. And while I was going through very dark times, I met a friend who is now my closest brother. He's Bay. So I met Bay at one of the conferences, and when he found out about my situation, he actually encouraged me to move on with my life. And something that's unique about him is that he met with an accident when he was 19 years old, and his chest down paralyzed. So he sits on a wheelchair, and while he was motivating me, he was sharing with me how he, as a disabled individual, is able to still independently move around, and he can drive a car on his own, and he can actually climb stairs using his wheelchair. And he showed me all this, and while he was getting up the car, he told me, if I can do it, you can. So actually in that moment of inspiration, I spoke to him for about 3 hours. But it changed my life.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, it basically just changed my life. And I told myself, while I was almost going bankrupt, if ever I could find an opportunity and build myself up, I should do something like what he does. Use that time to inspire people, right? But I need to at least find strength to stand up again and to be able to move to that position where I have the ability to help others. And so I worked very, very hard. I told Bay, I'm going to fight, okay? You gave me the inspiration to fight a fight. And I did well in the beauty industry, and I managed to turn around. And when I turned around, I decided to fulfill what I promised myself. I went to set up a social enterprise, and I told Bay that he should be one of my trainers. So I started a program called the Life Champion Program. So I call him my life champion, because he went through a traumatic experience in his life, and he's able to stand up again through his ability to help people. And so we decided to train more life champions. And in that whole process, I thought it was very meaningful. And through our true life testimonies of how we actually fell and stood up again, we actually did motivate and inspire hundreds of people. Every time we went for a talk, we had in the audience people who are in tears and telling us that if you can do it, we will do it. So over time, we decided to make this bigger and bigger and involve more and more people. And today, I think I'm very glad that I went through that period of almost bankrupt situation. And that's why today I have a life mission. Everything that I do, even whatever businesses that I bring in or start, I want to also empower people, especially in the disabled community, and people who have gone through that kind of trauma in their lives. So I did that, and I think it was an experience that I could really remember. And now that it is, now that I look at what I have done, I think that God put that situation in my life for a reason. And that's how I got started. And today I'm running a lot of organizations which are non-profit in nature because of that, right? Just to use that time wisely, share my experiences, and to empower people who are in trouble right now, and then they would like to stand up again.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I think a very short story, but very inspiring indeed. It also reminds all of us here today that regardless of whatever life throws us, it's always a choice whether or not we want to let life change us or we change the situation. And I think it's really inspiring to hear your story on how you have managed to turn the situation around from almost becoming bankrupt to where you are today, successful. business is not just local but international, and also continuing to inspire lives, not just within the women empowerment industry where you first started off, but now you have also furthered your mission and vision to inspire more life through the disabled community. So thank you very much, Mr. Sean Wong, for your sharing. Perhaps we could also have Datin Sri Adeline Fong to also share with us your story, what inspired you to be where you are today.
I think you can guess my inspiration, and it's my husband. Yeah, so what, being just a woman, being just a mother, you don't really have much, aspirations on what you really want to do, because you focus a lot on your kids, right? So that was me in the past. So, after going through lots of ups and downs together with my husband, our life is like a roller coaster, losing my son, and then when I was pregnant, later I'll share more. Yeah, so after going through so much, we come to realize that, life can be a lot more purposeful when we actually help other people. It's more like a blessing, and when we set our life goals right, it's definitely more meaningful, So previously we pursue meaningless goals, and all these goals just to fed our egos and all that, and we didn't really feel very happy about it until we decided that, why don't we do something really meaningful for the community and to impact more lives. So after seeing this energizer over here, he's been doing so much of community works, charity works. Every little time that he has, he's always doing and helping to impact many lives out there. So I thought, maybe I should also do something about it. So if you ask me, he is the reason for the inspiration. Yep. So I'm also very blessed to have a very supportive husband. Being a mother of 3 boys, so we actually support one another in doing more for the community. Yep.
Inspiring. So I think both of you are a very inspiring couple and a model couple to a lot of our perhaps youth entrepreneurs outside as well. Never know, maybe they are husband and wife as well, and today they are watching our dialogue session, and they are inspired by your spirit to continue creating impact, not just within your own community but also beyond Singapore. And really thankful for your sharing today. We would also like to invite Melissa to also share with us. So in your past over 20 years of experience in waste management, in leading women empowerment through ladies first community, what has inspired you to actually continue your interest in waste management, being a strong advocate for the environment, while at the same time, you still have to juggle between a family, and you still have to juggle between, starting your own social enterprise on Ladies First?
I think what really inspired me was the talk that my father called me one day. So basically, the long story short was, at that time I was actually working in Australia. I'm a tax auditor, totally different from what I'm doing today. So I was working happily, settling my life there, right? He called me and says, I need help. I said, okay, so what's your help? He said, I need you to come back to take over the family business. And my reaction was like, I'm an accountant. I know nothing about waste management, right? So he says, I have a lot of workers with me. They have been with me for so long. If no one takes over the business, then they'll be out of job, right? So it just took me one night to think about it. Next day, I went to the office. I tendered my resignation. I decided to come back for my family and for his business then. So it took me a while, right? He took me a while, and really I have no idea what is going on in Singapore business environment, right? In Singapore recycling and waste management environment. I totally have no idea. At the age of
Very
21, I
different
don't
from
even know what
accounting.
is going on, So it took me a little while, right? So then, again, second conversation, he says, what's the point of you dragging your feet to go to work every day? So this is something that I always pitch to my staff, You don't wake up in the morning and say, alamak, sian, today must go office. No, you should live your life fullest. You must look forward for new challenges and new issues or new things that you will either learn or you will overcome. So I think, the word that he really inspired me is you must develop your own passion in what you are doing. I think so. That's how, I stand up, right? Then I start to learn. I wanted to learn in a very quick pace of what is the waste management environment in Singapore, what is going on in Singapore, what is going on in the world, and how can I be better, and how can my business be better. Yeah, so that's how I developed over the years, I also have a very supportive husband, right? He's also an accountant. So accountant, marry accountant, right? So he's also accountant, practicing accountant. So he's really very supportive of what I'm doing. Because you have to juggle between family business as well as a family at that time when I have really young children. So we have to share workload and all this. So I think as a mother, right, a working mother is definitely not easy, right? You need to have good family support to juggle between your career as well as your families. I think a lot of women out there somehow would choose that, okay, my family first, my kids first, maybe I should take time off and don't work for a couple of years. Actually, that is also correct, right? Because family and kids come first. But actually, if you think about it, if you do not want to lose touch with the society, you do not want to lose touch to what you are good at, there's always a way. There will be a lot of help and a lot of assistance out there, not just your family help. It could be friends, right? It could be even the government will also render a lot of help by providing good childcare facility, infant care facilities. Even now, the schools have your own childcare facilities. Basically, you can just deposit your kids in the center in the morning, right? By the time you finish work and they go for proper school, proper meal, and by the time you finish your work, you go and pick them up, it's about 6 to 7 p.m. So actually, so I also hope that, one day I could inspire more women, right, to really step up, go and, have a purposeful and a meaningful life where, do things that what you like at the same time and managing your family. Yeah.
That's very true. So actually from our conversation earlier, we can already see a trend. So for instance, both Datin Sri, Adeline Fong, and also Miss Melissa Tan, PBM, both of you are very big on women empowerment, at work, at your career, at your business. Wow, I just want to chung. I just want to complete every task, back to back. I already have my full schedule on. But after work, I have to go and pick my kids at 7 p.m. So regardless, I need to finish all of my tasks, or my kid will be waiting for me there. No one is there to pick them up and everything. So I think that's probably one big question that we would like to pose to both of you. So in the whole hustle, of juggling between your family, your kids, your business, your dreams, your vision, what is the one toughest challenge that you have overcome in your past years, juggling between all different aspects? I want to do good for the society. I want to chunk sales for 300% for my business. oh, but at the same time, I only have, compared to some of my other peers in the industry, oh, I actually, because I have a family to take care, for my career, I only have 5 hours lesser than them in a day, for instance. So what's the one toughest challenge that you have overcome? And what is the one achievement that you are the proudest of? We'll start first with Latin Sri.
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
The toughest challenge that I had is really myself, is the challenge, right? I have to overcome all my own thoughts, all the negative, evil thoughts, right? Like, I'm an accountant. Why would I want to do waste collection, right? Why would I want to hang around with my Indian workers, China workers, or Singaporean drivers, workers, It's the greatest challenge that I have to overcome, right? So to me I believe that running and operating a family-owned business is different from where I founded my business. It's different, right? So to me, I will look at sustaining my family business, okay? So how to sustain the business is really to build the trust between myself and the employees. The employees could be your PMETs, right? The administrative staff and all this. You will also, because in my trade, we rely a lot on drivers, on their crew, which is the truck attendant, the general workers. I need them. Likewise, they also need me, right? Because there's a relationship between us. I think we need to build the trust between us. So that's really a challenge. So first, I need to change my own mindset. So I think until today, after working for so many years, been around in this sector, I'm still changing. I'm still changing my thoughts. I'm still transforming, because so that I can keep up with the trend. And likewise, right? I would say that in Mandarin, right, we always say 我们有多少个10年? It's very simple, right? If you want to live your life fullest, you want to lead a meaningful life, what are you going to do, right? For the young, we can't be sitting down there and say, hey, I wait for my mommy to feed me, I wait for my father to feed me. Oh, this job is not suitable for me, I too atas already. I cannot go down to the ground to do certain job. This is many youngsters' mindset. But frankly, how many 10 years do we have? First 10 years, first 7 years or 6 years, right? We are young kids. 7 years old, we go to school, right? By the time we finish school, finish army, finish something, we are at our early 20s. That's the beginning of our life, right? So plus another 10 years, you will be already in your mid-30s. By then, you should have a career, decent career, maybe ready to settle down. And then what's next? By then, have children, right? Have children maybe in your mid-30s, then mid-30s, 40s, 50s. By 60, we should be getting ready to retire, right? So I think our prime golden time is really when we are in our mid-30s and our mid-40s. I think that's the best time to really chiong. But before that prime time is the time where we must be very, very sure of what we want to do. So I think for my case, I am very sure of what I'm going to do, right, for this family business. And I'm going to put wholehearted 101% into this business to learn it. I think when I was in the mid-20s. Yeah, so I think that is the greatest challenge that I have to overcome, which is myself. My greatest achievement is that I'm married with 3 children. Yeah, because that's my greatest achievement, I think my work and business is not my greatest achievement, because that comprises a team. The success of my business and the success of my company is not about myself. It is about my team, the team of people that has been working with me. So my personal achievement is I can give birth to 3 kids.
Indeed.
Yeah, 3 obedient children. Yeah, thank you.
So, Datin Sri, Adeline Fong, what are your thoughts? Do you have the same thoughts as Miss Melissa Tan?
Actually, quite similar, lah. But of course, maybe I should share other kind of challenges that I face, throughout this whole journey of being a mother and then being an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's quite similar because we are all mothers, and I also have 3 kids, and we are very, very blessed to have 3 obedient kids as well. But I think our greatest challenge would be family issues. Like I said, our lives has always been ups and downs and all that. So prior to my second boy, whom we lost, when I was pregnant with my first child, that was the time that we started our business. It was really tough because, being a first-time mommy, pregnant, and then, you have to juggle between the business and then work. It's not easy, but of course, with a lot of support from the family and all that, I managed to be able to pull through. And then when my son was born, he was, the doctor told us that he was going blind. So, all these things got us thinking, oh my God, we have to juggle with the business, which we just started, and then now we have to face this going blind issue. So we spent a lot of time on my son when he was born, seeking second opinions, and all. And thank God, really glory to God that we managed to find a second opinion whereby he's not going blind. So
That is good news.
yeah,
Very
so
good news.
sometimes when you have any issues, please seek second opinion, third opinion. Yeah. So he's 8 years old today, and he's doing very well for the past even 8 years and beyond. And I know that he will be doing as well in the years to come. So he was just diagnosed with this condition called the Horner syndrome, but he's not going blind. That's the important thing. And this Horner syndrome, we have really did a lot of checks, and he was fine. So all these challenges just make me a mother so much stronger, because you just imagine when your life is just filled with so much of obstacles. Life is never beautiful all the time, right? There's always things coming up here and there. It's how you actually, attempt to solve it, and also to become stronger from there. Like the saying goes, right? It's always nothing can kill you, right? And it only makes you stronger. So this is one of the challenges that we face. I mean, one of the strongest challenge, at least for me. I don't know about him, but yeah, at least for me as a mom. So being a first-time mom, the child is everything, right? Yeah. Then if you ask me what is my biggest achievement, would be our Miss World Singapore. Actually, we actually got the license for Miss World Singapore and Miss World Malaysia in 2018. And we thought our greatest, because of Miss World, we had this Beauty with a Purpose mission. So we got this show. Actually, we aired it on MediaCorp Channel 5 last year. And the Beauty with a Purpose segment actually raised up more than $7 million Singapore dollars for charity.
Wow, impressive.
Yes, so I guess in just a short span of 2 years, we are pretty happy with the result. Of course, we hope to do more in the years to come. But with this $7 million, we actually have a registered charity organization, which is under Syea Medical Institution. So this institution actually helps a lot of these old folks in Singapore who has no money to pay for medical bills, and they actually provide very low cost medication. So we are really glad that our Beauty with a Purpose mission is doing quite okay. Yeah. So if you ask me, my biggest achievement thus far will be this under the Beauty with a Purpose mission. Yeah.
Wow, really inspiring. To raise that amount of money within such a short, frame of time, it's really very inspiring. In fact, I think it's an inspiration for SYEA team as well. So perhaps next to the question to Mr. Sean Wong, PBM. The interesting part here is because both you and Datun Sri Adeline actually come from the same company. You know, you actually formed the company with the same vision and mission. So just curious, what the one toughest challenge and one strongest achievement that you're proud of be similar?
So as you can guess, because once we have a family crisis, both of us are down. So in 2015, when we lost our second son, AS, we both were down. And we were the people who founded the company. And when both the founders are down, the company just can't function. So what happened at a time when AS just left us suddenly, all of a sudden, and then our world just turned into darkness, right? And we took some time off to grieve and to be able to find our direction again. And that was a very, very difficult time. And I think it caught us by surprise, and we didn't plan anything for our business to move without us. So at a time, we had to make a very serious choice of whether or not to focus on settling our family or to build our business. So of course, I need to stand by my wife, and I made that choice, and I said, family first, right? So I stopped everything I did for my business and focused my time to rebuild my family. So that period of time was really tough because we went into financial situations where we could not pay big bills. Our overhead was super high. And when the business cannot operate, even with some workers helping us, it just cannot function well. And that period took some time, but we were very focused on rebuilding our lives, and we basically healed ourselves through our own thoughts, and we were just, we keep motivating each other. And a few months later, actually, we managed to restart our lives again. And that was when we decided, okay, now that we can rebuild our lives, it is time for us to again share what we have gone through. And because my business is built on a foundation of testimonies. So in fact, our testimonies became an inspiration to many people, and our Life Champion program requires us to use very strong testimonies. And that allows us to empower women, allows us to empower people who have gone through that kind of trauma in their lives as well. And then, interestingly, because of that, a lot of opportunities came. And within just a couple of months, we managed to rebuild that business. And today, the business is flourishing in many ways because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, so it made us stronger. Yeah, so that was a big challenge, but we had to try to overcome it. Now, the proudest thing, of course, because we run a social enterprise, and empowering people is really an amazing thing to do. Somebody empowered me, and I managed to rebuild my life, and we wanted to do the same. And we don't know whether or not what we do can actually help the person in the end. So we have hundreds of students over the past years, and over a period of time, you receive thank you letters from your students. And some of them actually went through very difficult times in their lives, and because of what we said or what we taught them, they rebuilt their lives as well. Some of them went through depression, and after speaking to us, they decided to move on with their lives. And many of our students became successful entrepreneurs. So after many years, we saw that the transformation was real. And I could even give an example of how we have seen somebody grow to become a very successful public speaker. I have a Life Champion. He's called Abdul Alim. He is a triathlete, but he's a very unique triathlete. He has only one leg. He's an amputee because of an accident. So after going through that traumatic experience, he lost the use of one leg, but he became a triathlete. Yeah.
Wow.
So when we saw him, we saw that he is very unique, but he could not do public presentations because he's afraid of stage. He just can't speak when he's in front of people. And we decided to transform him. And we try to empower him, we train him, I provide platforms for him to speak. And after many, many, many tries, when he goes out to speak, people are in tears So what we try to provide is that kind of platform, and when we see somebody being able to inspire somebody after they are empowered, I think that is a really wonderful achievement. And it's not so much for my own achievement, but I can see that the people who are empowered have that achievement, and that makes me really, really proud. Yeah, so today we decided to continue running this kind of program because we can see a lot of potential in many people who do not want to step out of their comfort zone and do something different, but using their life stories to be able to empower people and to be able to build lives. Yeah, so in that whole process, we also create jobs. We also help to instill some good values in people's lives. Yeah, so I think that to me, I'm proud of. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for your sharing on this. I think we definitely get a few learnings from the sharings from three of you today. So at the end of the day, we always see in front of screen successful business leaders like yourself. Everyone only see the glam that that you show because of your success. But to be very honest, all business leaders, all successful entrepreneurs, you are still human, right? And all of you also face challenges. And at the end of the day, the key word here is how to keep things sustainable. I think Melissa have also shared it's important to, the word empowerment is also very important. How do we take, when life throws us surprises? I think all three of you have met a lot of surprises along your way. How do you take these surprises and turn it into something more powerful to continue a sustainable empowerment over here? And today, this actually brings us to our topic, back to our topic again, empowering youth entrepreneurs by future-proofing the ecosystem. So we are very proud and honored today to be able to have three very successful business leaders from different industries to share about, specifically in your industry. Again, COVID-19 has brought a lot of surprises, not just to a working professional like myself, not just to perhaps my parents at home. It also takes a lot of surprises to business owners and also entrepreneurs out there. So perhaps sustainable development over here, we also know that it's a journey. There will be up and down. Maintaining the momentum requires constant commitment and also attention to the landscape of opportunities and also challenges. So 2020 has definitely been overwhelmed with challenges brought upon by COVID-19. And yet, many has also taken this opportunity to take a step back, rethink, revamp their business model. So in the form of events management and also empowering jobs creation, especially in the youth ecosystem, Mr. Sean Wong, can we actually have your thoughts? During circuit breaker, events management industry has definitely taken a huge hit due to the halt of MIC events, tourism, and also gatherings. So can you share with us your journey, thoughts, and also advice for like-minded youth entrepreneurs in tiding over challenging times like this?
Okay, while I was running events, we also focus on our mission, which is a lot of social and community work. And as all of you know, that social work, it focuses on people. And we want to attract talents, we want to attract people who are passionate, who are dedicated, and who are selfless. And so when circuit breaker comes, that poses us a very big challenge, right? Because there's no more human interaction face to face. And then that personal touch is no longer there. And we had to remodel our business operations. I mean, we all have to face that challenge. And, especially in events, that the good times are not going to come so soon. And I run very large-scale events. So most of my events that I run have more than 1,000 people turning up per event. And in 1 year, we actually create a lot of opportunities for people because we build a lot of events. I do TV shows as well. And I do events that the regional guests will come. And so when circuit breaker comes, all events come to a halt, right? And we can't even foresee when we can actually start again. So that keeps us thinking what we can actually do to sustain the people that are actually following us, and also while you're building the event on the online space, things also change, right? Because sponsors will look at the event very differently, no longer physical events where thousands of people could come and look at their brands. And so during this whole process, we just had to adapt, right? And then we had to embrace this change. So in business, we went through many, many cycles already. But this is one huge one that suddenly just came and impacted all of us. But you see, when you live life very positively and when you look at situations very objectively and you look at what opportunities there are, in fact, we fine-tuned our way of doing things. The old ways of doing, of course, involve people coming together and then setting up. Right? But the new ways are interesting because now you can move everything online and you save a lot of costs. So when we were thinking of all the possibilities of how we can continue running an events business, it's quite mind-boggling when you just realize that, how come last time never thought of this? Because now that everybody is digitally savvy, and everybody understands what QR code is, everybody's on Zoom already, we don't even have to educate them on all these platforms. And we can just transfer all of them into one simple platform. So that was what we did. We started to build digital platforms very quickly. I'm already building my live streaming studio. So we are actually moving our events quickly online. Of course, right now is a period where we need to slow down so that we can start to remodel. And by next year, we should be ready to go again. But what gave us opportunities was also because it goes online, our audience becomes a global audience, which we never thought of before. Right? It was always a national event, and then we just do it within our own community. But now that opportunities come, we can actually do all this and reach out to a huge pool of people who never got to know us previously. So in fact, Live Champion program is to enable people, empower disabled community, and empower people who have gone through very bad experiences in life. So when you go on the global platforms, I could actually engage a lot of international coaches. And we could reach out to a lot of people who are in need in many different parts of the world, which is a lot. So our Live Champion program is now moving online, and we are going to create webinars, we are creating platforms where we do educational programs, and it becomes a very different way of running things. So what I want to encourage everybody is this. Right? While we are facing the biggest challenge in our own businesses, in our own works of whatever we are doing, our fields of work, today presented a new opportunity for all of us to don't look at the crisis as a crisis, look at it as an opportunity for us to change, to remodel, and to move. Maybe we can even reach our goal faster, right? More efficient. So, but you have to make that change very quickly, right? Because it will not wait for you. And if you take too long to recover, basically it will just lose everything. So we did that, and today I'm creating jobs digitally. So we need a lot of designers, we need a lot of people who are very, very good with their knowledge in live streaming, with digital production. And so we create jobs in a different way. Last time we created a lot of jobs. Every event will take up about 20, 30 people. And we create a lot of this kind of freelance jobs for people. But today you can't do that. You do it digitally. Yeah, so we found opportunity while we go through all this. And I think that is the way to go, digitalizing our business. Yeah.
Definitely. So that also contributes to digitalizing your workforce.
That's right.
Which is going to be the trend moving forward as well. So we also noticed that your business focuses a lot on empowering disabled community and individuals facing adversities in life to become public speakers and social entrepreneurs. So with the challenges and trends that you see ahead earlier, what would be your advice for the same group of entrepreneurs, in particular youth entrepreneurs, that are also looking to support through the social causes, similar social causes of your business?
So we all know that this is unprecedented, difficult times that we all go through. And during this kind of crisis, many people also go through tough times and their lives will come into trouble. So many of them lose their jobs and lose opportunities. So that is also why we want to continue growing this social enterprise, because we see opportunity in empowering more people to be able to reach out to people who are in need. And so social entrepreneurship is interesting because during such crisis, it becomes more important. And our life champion trainers will have a bigger audience, and at the same time, we are able to help other people become stronger, and eventually they become part of our platform as well, and to be able to reach out to more people. So I think social entrepreneurship requires us to be very resilient, right? Because in order for us to succeed and to be able to empower more people, we need to be strong ourselves. We need to live life positively despite the situation. We need to overcome our personal lives problems. And we need to just be strong, and we just have to show people how we can overcome despite having nothing. So that kind of spirit, I think, is in all of us. But sometimes we are in certain environment and we are not able to stand up so fast. So what we would like to encourage everybody is, of course, to be able to live life positively despite having the situation we are having now. Be looking forward to the next phase of your life where things work out well. So just continue to brave on and fight through this crisis, right? Together, all of us will be able to do it together. So for people who want to enter into social entrepreneurship or to be able to empower people, I think that is what is important. Just be very strong yourself, be very resilient. And I think that kind of characteristic is very, very crucial. And you will be able to see a beautiful journey and getting the right outcome eventually. Yeah.
Definitely. So for 13-3, since you're in the same company and also in the same industry, pretty much because you run the business together. So again, a similar question posed to you. During circuit breaker, events management definitely have received a huge hit. There are a lot of causes that you want to achieve through women empowerment, through Miss World Singapore. It has to temporarily stop. So can you share with us personally your journey as the co-founder of Celebrity Group? What were your thoughts on tiding over this challenging time?
Actually, it's more or less the same as what Sean has mentioned, because we're running this as Celebrity Group. So, but this whole year has been halted. Basically, we do not have any Miss World event because even the Miss World organization in the UK has halted this year, and so we do not have any events for Miss World. So same as what Sean mentioned, we are going into digitalization. So we hope that with this going online thing, even bringing events online, we really hope to be able to target a wider audience. So we are also hoping to present this new opportunities to tap on this wider global market for our edutainment programs. So I'm also still learning, and I hope that it works well as well. So this is what we have been trying to do.
We are constantly learning
Yeah.
along the journey.
Yep.
Okay, so we also know that Celebrity Group have came a long way and journey hasn't been easy. So we would also like you to share with us how has Celebrity Group helped empower women over the years, and also what are some of your plans moving forward? And if you do have any advice for youth entrepreneurs that are interested to empower youth and women in their business, what are your advice for them?
I would say for our Miss World Singapore event, our young ladies, we have really successfully transformed them in a way. So when they first came into joining us in the Beauty with a Purpose event, they were just simple young ladies out there, trying to vie over the crown. But over here with Beauty with a Purpose, we really transform them. We coach them. We instill good knowledge on life values, and also igniting that spirit of giving through them. So we actually link them and connect them with philanthropies social entrepreneurs so that they can actually learn from them. So this in turn empower them to be able to serve the community and impact the communities, which is what Beauty with a Purpose is all about. So, like I mentioned earlier, that the amount raised for the charity for Syea Medical is indeed a remarkable result, I would say. And we are very proud of these ladies, actually. So, yep. So, these ladies are empowered to help change lives of disadvantaged families and vulnerable communities. So, because our platform is global, so we have received extensive publicity globally as well as locally. So it's amazing, and I thought, it's really something, it's a real transformation when you see the ladies first coming in, taking part in Miss World, and then walking out of the whole program itself after a year. And so Celebrity Group's various projects and contributions to society have been, like I said, extensively featured in local and international news, right? So this journey of social work is also my life mission. And, being able to create a change in the community and helping people is actually limitless. So we really hope that, while we can touch, or we have already touched thousands of lives in the community, we hope to be able to do more, even more as the years goes by. So we hope to empower more lives in these years to come, and to build bigger platforms whereby we can leverage on new technology, which we are trying out, the online and stuff, to reach out to more audience. And this we can also reach out to more young women out there to actually embark on this journey, to be able to be the agent of change in the communities. Yep.
Wow, thank you for your sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we would also like to ask Ms. Melissa Tan, PBM, to also share on how you have actually turned the table around, during COVID-19. So we also know that COVID-19 has pushed many traditional businesses to tap onto the digitalization framework. So in your opinion, what are some of the common challenges faced by the industry during these trying times? And what are some of the framework that should actually be taken into consideration to rethink and reframe opportunities?
Basically, my industry is pretty much the same as what Adeline and Sean has shared, is moving towards a digital platform. Traditionally, waste management, right, the collection part, whether the waste collection is, we are doing the collection for household, shopping malls, hotels, or even industrial or commercial, right, premises. Most of our companies engage foreign talents, right? So not so many of our Singaporeans are into these jobs for a simple reason. Basically, we don't seem to be sexy, right? Because we are not Miss World, Mrs. World, no. They probably deem us as, wow, this one damn low level, no, damn smelly. I have to drive a truck around to pick up the waste. I think the challenge, all this while, our challenges was, how can we improve our image and to recruit more Singaporeans to join our workforce, and not to rely on too much of our foreign talents. Yeah. So this has always been our challenge until when this pandemic happens. I think our companies now are really opening up, and they are accepting this entire transformation framework. Is important because they need to realize that there's no more, or we can't be relying on cheap sourcing of workers, right? So our companies will need to look at how can we upskill and reskill our Singaporeans. At the same time, we maintain a certain image that people are willing to come forward for this kind of jobs, I would say, you know. And of course, companies should also, they are now exploring into digitalization, automation, what kind of technology that would be suitable and available from overseas, which we can then bring it in and incorporate into Singapore infrastructure. Then that will help to ease up the workload a lot easier. Yeah.
Definitely. So as you have shared earlier, so waste management and environment industry, at points of time it is actually viewed negatively, like you mentioned. It's not really a sexy job. There's a lot of hard work behind it as well, which no one can actually see it. It's all behind the scenes. So it's impressive that you as a woman, you also decided that I would like to join this industry, right? And today you are also representing the industry as the chairwoman of WarmRisk. So in your own words, could you actually describe your experience being a women leader in this industry? And if anyone else is interested, to join this industry as an entrepreneur as well, especially as a youth entrepreneur, what would be your advice to them?
I would say that everyone can do it, right? Especially in my industry, it's really a male-dominated sector, right? So when I first joined, I was scared. Honestly, I was scared. I don't know what is going on, right? And then when I took over the portfolio as a chairperson, representing in Singapore as a national level, then moving on to international level, I was scared too. If I say I'm not scared, I bluff one, no. I'm also scared, right?
I think everyone
because
would be.
it's simple. First, I'm a woman, right? My fellow colleagues are all men, right? They are also much older. They will tell you, I'm more experienced than you. No, you're such a young lady. What do you know, right? So, I think first is overcome your own mindset, and then again I look at how can I contribute back to the society? How can I do my part to protect the environment? If I use my own words to look at this entire pandemic, right, I think all happens for a reason. Okay, it could also be a punishment where mankind did not protect the environment well enough, right? So I think everybody has a role to play in this entire pandemic, right? Because we never protect the ocean, we never protect our mountain, we have air pollution, water pollution, there's so many things, right? So I think all our young entrepreneurs, right, if you are looking at this segment, I'm very, very sure you will have a lot of great opportunities in this sector. Although we may not be seen as a very sexy industry, but I think we are really doing meaningful jobs. Because first, we are protecting the environment. We are doing our CSR, or our contribution to the society or the community, right? Second, because in this segment, right, in the olden days, even old people, sometimes for our older folks, maybe grandparents will say, "Aya, you don't study, right? Later you go coffee shop, be cleaner. You go and be a garbage driver and throw rubbish."
That
right? That's the norm. Yeah, that's the norm. Right? Yeah. So we have to erase away the perception. We need to erase the norm. That's not the way forward of waste collection anymore. Because waste collection, it can be done where the people, first we start from a driver, right? The driver can then be put on with nice uniform, good trucks with automation in the trucks, and they drive the garbage truck with pride, right? That could be done by anyone, and then of course we'll do upscaling on them, right? We send them for courses, how to automate a truck, right? Whereas for the more educated young entrepreneurs, you could be exploring certain type of technology, digitalization platform, solutions, or automation that could help and change this waste sector. So I believe that, all the young here would, if you think that you want to be part of this transformation journey, then I'll be very open for more discussion. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your advice. So, well, today we have came to an end for the first dialogue session on future-proofing the youth entrepreneurship ecosystem. So, thank you very much for your advice. I think we have a lot of key takeaways today. We have to really look into what's our passion, when life throws us lemon, made it into lemonade instead, and drink it. And of course, there's a lot of thoughts on how we should actually take challenges. And that actually brings back to the key theme of SYEA, where we actually encourage youth entrepreneurs today to actually be innovative, be resilient, learn from how previous successful entrepreneurs and also leaders in the industry that has been there, done that, how do they actually tide over the surprises that is brought upon to us via COVID-19. But at the same time, apart from wanting to keep the business results outstanding, how can we actually be sustainable to the environment, to the industry, to the society as well? So thank you very much for your advices, and stay tuned for our next session on the fourth IR technological industry. Thank you very much.